Oh, what the hell? This is so fucking annoying. Thankfully, unlike Alex from Nintendo Life, I'm not monetized. So I can curse to my heart's content. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. It's obviously YouTube's problem anyway. There's a quick way out of this now. Hopefully. Oh wait, I'm live. Okay, what a strange start to a live stream. Technical difficulties. Okay, I think I'm live now anyway. Anyway, okay, so let's get the live stream started. I have been so lucky over the last year and a half or so to return to some of my favourite games of all time in remasters, in remakes, and in sequels. I've been able to return to my purple buddy, Spyro the Dragon, with the release of Spyro Reignited Trilogy. What a release that was for me. I absolutely loved the Spyro the Dragon series, the original trilogy. And how did you, to my lovely viewer, welcome to Green-HillGaming. In this live stream, I am playing some darts.
Johnny Boy, top of the morning to you.
Who do we have? That is Chad, 100%. That is Chad. That can only be Chad. How do you do, Chad? What is up with you? I am doing fine, man. Thank you very much. How are you keeping? Any update on that check? Chad, any update on that check? My fingers are still crossed for you, man, that you get things sorted out. So yeah, Chad, very welcome to my live stream. In this live stream, I'm discussing remasters, remakes, and sequels. Remasters and remakes are great, but sequels are better. And I was talking about how I have been so lucky as a 90s gamer. I've been so lucky to be able to return to some of my favorite, childhood video games of all time through remasters, remakes, and sequels. And I think for me, it all kicked off with the release of Spyro Reignited Trilogy, allowing me to be reunited with my purple buddy. I'm going to start a game of darts. Spyro the Dragon. I absolutely love the original Spyro the Dragon trilogy, as anyone who knows me will know. So what a pleasure it was for me to play Spyro Reignited Trilogy, a remaster of the three original.
I got it 2 days ago. Pete Bills bought food and got the only Switch Lite at store.
That is fantastic news, Chad. That is fantastic news, man. I'm so happy to hear that. That's fantastic news, man. Things worked out in the end for you, man. Delighted, man. And you got the Switch Lite. Oh, man. Switch Lite, man. Nintendo are making fucking such a profit, man, on the Switch. Okay, I need to get this live stream moving. But that is great news, man. I'm delighted to hear that. 15 minutes to go live because there was technical difficulties. So yeah, I mean, Spyro Reignited Trilogy, what an amazing remaster, allowing me to play, the three original Spyro the Dragon games, and they looked fantastic, of course, because the game was fully remastered on PS4, and I have it on Switch as well, so I can play it on the go. What a pleasure it was to be, to be out and about, man, playing some Spyro the Dragon. So that was a fantastic remaster, and I think that's really what kind of kicked off, kicked off all these remasters.
I also got a new Motorola phone and Beats headphones.
Good stuff, Chad. Good stuff, man. So that's where it all kind of began for me. I'm sure there may have been maybe a couple of remasters and remakes before that, but I can't think of any to remember. But as a 90s gamer kid, it was Spyro the Dragon Reignited Trilogy. It's very hard to play darts and talk at the same time. It was Spyro Reignited Trilogy remaster that really kind of started all these remasters and remakes, sequels. Then January of 2019 was the release of a remake, and not just any remake, but the remake of Resident Evil 2. Now, you know, not only do I love Spyro the Dragon, but I also love the Resident Evil series. And Resident Evil 2 is one of my favourite Resident Evil games of all time. So when I got my hands, damn it, on the Resident Evil 2 remake, man, again, what a pleasure that was also. To return to Raccoon City. No, like, the whole thing being remade.
I was going to mention Daymare to you, but I saw you streaming it.
I know, I was one step ahead of you. Yeah. I'll talk about that actually at the end of the live stream, if I may. Because it kind of does somehow tie into remakes a little bit. So look, it was amazing to be able to play a Resident Evil 2 remake. I mean, I love Resident Evil 2 so much, and to see the RPD recreated and to see just Raccoon City come to life in such glorious fashion. It was a great remake. I loved it, and what a way to kind of kick off, like, you know, that kind of year, because that's kind of like, there's so many remakes to follow, you know. Obviously, like, the game that I'm playing right here is a remake, Final Fantasy VII remake. I mean, my God, you can't mention PlayStation without mentioning Final Fantasy VII. I mean, you know, what a great game that was, and, you know, one of my favourite games of all time. Basically, every game I'm going to mention in this live stream is one of my favourite games of all time, except Daymare. I'll get to that later. Final Fantasy VII. Oh, I mean, probably the remake of all remakes, because, I mean, people have been wanting it for so long, especially me. It is so hard to play darts and talk, let me tell you that right now. So I mean, I'm having, like, I'm only I'm still at the beginning of this remake, and it's a project as well, so it will receive many parts. So from what I've experienced so far of the Resident Evil 7 remake, I mean, I love it. I love it. Immersive is the word. I can't talk and play darts, man, seriously. Just such an immersive remake is Resident Evil 7 remake. Before that, a couple of weeks back, I like,
how am I supposed to play EA games on Stadia if they shut down their online servers? Elbow cough. Man,
you shouldn't be playing Google Stadia at all in the first place, is what I would say. That's what I would say. That's all I would say in response to Google Stadia. Can I just briefly discuss? No, actually won't, because it won't be a brief discussion. At 10 minutes left in the live stream, it won't be a brief discussion. If I talk about EA, man, it will not be a brief discussion. Let me tell you that right now. But I was going to talk about EA. I don't know why EA came up. Sorry, just there was something.
They choose Stadia over the Switch.
Well, that's pretty much what I was going to say. So I'll just let you kind of explain that. All I can say is the sales of Switch and the sales of Switch's software. All I can say is Switch software and hardware speak for itself. Obviously, EA don't like to make money. That's all I'm going to say on that. But anyway, I got 10 minutes because this live stream started off pretty shitty with technical difficulties and all that. So, okay, so not only did they have the honour of playing a remake like Resident Evil 2, but Resident Evil 3 Remake launched just a couple of weeks back, and that was fantastic, even though I'm still a bit up in the air about how I feel about Nemi's new design in terms of his appearance. Okay, so look, long story short, okay, you know, it's a great time to be a 90s gamer, because I am, of course, a 90s gamer. Holy shit, like, I mean, I get to play Spyro the Dragon 1, 2 and 3 again in remastered in glorious HD graphics, and on the go, because I have it on Switch. I get to play a remake of one of the greatest Resident Evil games of all time, Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil 3, and I get to play a remake of Resident Evil 7. So what a time it is to be, you know, a 90s gamer. But those games that I've mentioned, one was a remaster and 2 were remakes. But you know what's better? You know what's better? A sequel. Today, I finally played Streets of Rage 4, a sequel to the Streets of Rage series. Like 20 odd years later, something like that, 20 odd years later. Streets of Rage 4, not Streets of Rage 1 remade, not Streets of Rage HD collection, you know, not Streets of Rage Ragey Trinity.
The Witcher 3 emoji
The Witcher 3. I'm only joking. But it's a full-on sequel. It's the latest Streets of Rage in the series. Now, a good couple of years back, well, not a good couple of years back, it's like 2 years ago, something like that, we got to play Sonic Mania, which is also a new entry into the Sonic series. So I love sequels more than remakes and remasters, because it's nice to return to a game and see it looking better or playing better or completely recreated. But what's much better is just continuing on with the series, continuing on with what made that game good, that series good in the first place. So when you get to return to the Streets of Rage, you know, you've got new characters and returning characters, you've got new abilities, and it's great. I've only played the first stage, so, you know, I've got a lot more to come. But I loved it, and it was great. It was just fantastic. It was fantastic to play a brand new Streets of Rage game. So I think when it comes to... Now this is an all over the place live stream, I have to admit.
I'm still stuck on the twin boss in Streets of Rage 1.
Oh my god. I know the boss. Do you know what my strategy was in that chat? It was just what I always do really in games when I get stuck. I was just jumped up and down, kicked and punched and hoped for the best. Literally, just jumping up and down and kicking randomly. I couldn't possibly think of any other strategy to defeat those fuckers. You know, I honestly couldn't. Every now and again I just kind of got into a rhythm where I'd kick one on the left and kick one on the right, and I just found myself in that rhythm, and that's what went for me less than 5 minutes into live stream. Can you believe that? I'm going to give myself an extra 10 minutes, I don't care. I said 5 minutes. I'll give myself an extra 5 minutes. Cool. Welcome to Green-HillGaming. It is great to have you on the live stream. In this live stream, I am discussing remasters, remakes, and sequels, and why I think that, you know, remasters and remakes are great. And hello to my third viewer as well. Why I think that remasters and remakes are great, but I also think that sequels are better. So I hope that you're keeping well, all of my 3 lovely viewers, and I hope that you're keeping safe, and I hope that you enjoy the remaining 10 minutes of this live stream. I know it's a short live stream. It's because it took me like over 10 minutes to go live, because for whatever reason PlayStation wouldn't allow me to go live. Out of my hands. Don't blame me.
I realized I got some extra weights, lol.
Yeah.
Hi Utku.
You realize you got some extra weights. Nice. So how do you do? What's cool? How do you do to you? What's cool?
Hello.
Who do we have now in the live stream? Victor! Oh my god, Victor! The one and only Victor. Welcome back to Green-HillGaming, Victor. How have you been keeping? I hope that you're keeping safe and well in these crazy times. So in this live stream, Victor, I am discussing...
During this week I was very overwhelmed with classes and online homework from the school that didn't have time to watch the live stream.
No problem, man. You're working from home. How does it feel to be working from home? When I say working, like, you know what I mean, like, but I like to call it working from home. The good old elbow cough emoji. How does it feel like to be working it from home? Like, I'd love it, to be honest with you. I'd much prefer to be working from home. You just feel like there's literally
elbow cough.
You're working
it
from
sucks.
home. Really, you think so? I'd love it, man. I would, because it feels at home. Literally feels at home. Like, I think it's
Hi,
great.
Victor.
I think it's great. Oh man, I got less than fucking... Man, I need to fucking speed up this live stream because I haven't gotten to the point of the live stream yet. Well, I kind of have because I was discussing... Okay, so basically, like, remasters, remakes, they're great, but sequels are better. I think it's much better to return to a classic... I think it's much better to return to a classic series like Streets of Rage, and instead of remaking it or remastering it, just make a new game in the series. But I think I want to focus particularly here on... Because the thing about Resident Evil and Final Fantasy is we have Final Fantasy 15 and we have Resident Evil 7. So these series
I would work as a plumber instead of working from home.
Really? God, I do both. I would do both. Give me own plumber. What the hell am I talking about? I'm fucking panicking because I got like a couple of minutes left in the live stream. I've gone very routine lately on Green-HillGaming, you may have noticed. Anyway, so yeah, the thing about Resident Evil and Final Fantasy is that they have modern entries in the series, and they also make remakes. But I think particularly when it comes to a series like Streets of... Now I'm going to focus here on Sega. I don't want to be biased, but I am a Sega guy. I did grow up playing Sega.
Yes, please don't make me buy Skyrim again.
Make buy Skyrim again. Or Skyrim again, holy shit.
How are you doing in this pandemic period?
Oh god, good question.
Washhands.
Good question. Well, that's exactly what I'm doing, Victor. I'm washing my hands a lot more. Pandemic. Washing my hands constantly. That's what I'm doing. How about you? I hope that you're all keeping safe, by the way. So I'm going to focus on Sega here. I really am. I'm just going to focus because Sega have a lot of social distancing. Sega have a lot of series that they haven't returned to for a very long time. Like, for instance, Streets of Rage, and it was great to see that Sega, you know, actually made not just Sega, because it was actually a lot of Sega had very little input actually in the development of Streets of Rage 4, but it is still their IP, so I'm going to say Sega. Nonetheless. They released a brand new game in the Streets of Rage series, which I was delighted with. Much prefer a sequel than a remake or a remaster.
Panzer Dragon remake.
That is one of the remakes they made technically. But they have so many series. They have like Golden Axe as well. They've got Comics Zone. They've got so many games. And I just think that instead of just releasing them as like classic collection type games and remaking them or remastering them, I think it's much better if they just give us a full-on sequel. And I think that games like Sonic Mania and Streets of Rage 4 are prime examples of not only how successful that they're doing that can be, but just how it's the right thing to do, basically. Instead of just giving people the tired and tested remake and remaster. So that's all I really wanted to say in this live stream is I played the first stage of Streets of Rage 4, and after playing Streets of Rage 4 I realised this is Streets of Rage 4. This isn't Streets of Rage remade. This isn't Streets of Rage remastered. This isn't the best of Streets of Rage. This is literally a brand new Streets of Rage game, and how amazing it is to be playing it. And what an amazing game it is, and thinking to myself, this is what developers should actually be doing, going forward when they're looking back at their
Did
franchises.
you gain weights during quarantine? LOL.
I have to slow down my computer voice. Did you gain weight during? That's a good question. I hope not. I haven't checked. I have bought Ring Fit Adventure. It's a fitness program that you can get on Nintendo Switch. It acts as a game. Like, you literally defeat bosses by doing actual exercises. And when I say actual exercise, I mean that. Like, you're not just waving your hands around like some maniac. These are actual exercises. I defeated a boss by doing overhead presses. So yeah. And not just overhead presses, but it just keeps going, and it's actually tough. Like, you have to do like possibly 15 different types of exercises, and then there's like different what the fuck do they call them? There's different reps. Then like so many reps in between that. So I mean, by the time I've never the way people say like, oh, that boss worked up a sweat. When you're literally doing exercises to defeat a boss, you're working up a sweat. So. But anyway, look, I have to tone down. The
chicken balls and boiled potatoes for dinner tonight, Johnny.
Well,
emoji smirk.
I can tell you now, Chad, the chicken balls are out the window. No more takeaway from me. No more fries for me. But the potatoes are still going. potatoes and vegetables and meat and stuff like that. But the chicken balls, no more chicken balls for me. But I found I kind of might have overdid it with Ring Fit Adventure because I got a pain in my back. And originally you'd say to yourself like, oh, no pain, no gain. But not when it comes to back pain. Not when it comes to back pain. I mean, once you have back pain after exercise, you really say, okay, I've obviously done something wrong here. So I might just tone it down. There's a couple of rhythm games in there where you're moving your arms around and stuff. That might just do me for a while. I'm getting old. Do you know how it feels to lose a save game? To lose a save game? I don't understand that question, sorry. Do you mean like... Oh, I think I know what you mean. Johnny's going to sue Nintendo. Yeah, I'm going to sue Nintendo because they gave me back pain. That's my own problem. I wouldn't be one of those people, no. You'd always come across those people. You read it in a magazine or online or something. Fucking man sues Nintendo because he cracked his nail playing a fucking game or some shit like that. It's my own fault. I overdid it, like completely overdid it. I'll just tone it down a bit now. I was supposed to do it today, but I toned it down. I'll do a light exercise now tomorrow or something like that. It does actually tell you. It tells you, are your muscles hurting? Are you in pain? You want to tone down the difficulty. So it's a very sophisticated exercise, to be honest with you. Far more than what you would expect. It's far deeper than like Wii Fit and Wii Fit Plus. It's fantastic, to be honest with you. But yeah, as far as game save, oh yeah, I know what you mean. There's one that comes to mind. It's probably the only one that I can think of, really, to be honest with you. It was on the PlayStation 2. Back then, you know, it was all memory cards, of course. If you didn't have a memory card, you couldn't save the progress. That doesn't matter, that's beside the point anyway. But the point is, I was playing a game called Resident Evil Code Veronica X. Got very far into the game now. You know, saved my progress, turned off the console, didn't think anything of it. I was going through my memory card because you could go into the menu and look at your game saves, and there was something strange about my Resident Evil Code Veronica X save file. It was corrupted save file. That was the end of that. I had to start all over again. It was a nightmare. But the hardcore gamer that I am, I caught up where I was the following day, so I was happy enough with that. I popped my back in the lower right side last month. Oh my god, I get some sore sometimes depending on how I sit. Jesus man, that sounds painful. We have to soldier on, don't we? Don't we, Chad? We're getting old, by. We have to soldier on. I'll do one game of darts then I'll round off the live stream because I actually need to make my dinner. But I suppose all I really wanted to kind of say in this live stream, in a nutshell, is, you know, I think a sequel to a classic series that hasn't had an entry in years, I think that's much better than a remake or a remaster. Because yeah, it is nice to, you know, to return to a game that you love and for it to look amazing, but you're still getting the same game. Chad, I remember when you were asking me, and you know, Damien was asking me, and other people in the live chat were asking me, they were like, are you going to play the campaign of Resident Evil 3 first, or are you going to play Resistance? And I was like, what Resistance? Even though I ended up playing Returning of the Boomers, Chad, definitely. Even though I ended up playing the campaign in the end, typical Green-HillGaming. But I was kind of like, I know the game. It's Resident Evil 3, I know the story. I wasn't too kind of, like, I wasn't tripping over myself to play the campaign first, you know what I mean? That's because it's a game that I was used to. But like, you know, if you give a sequel, like Streets of Rage 4, it's a brand new game, so you're not going to know what it is. So that's kind of all I really want to say, really. Let me just finish this game of darts and then I'll start make my dinner, because I'm fucking long overdue. Yeah, am I playing good here, or is it just my imagination? Lads. Stall the beans down now. Stall the... Oh, fuck. I messed up. Messed up, Chad. No, it doesn't matter. Let's go with the old dramatic finish there now. Oh, fuck. Stay still, you cunt. Alright, fuck it. I'm just gonna quit. Quit. Because I'm a quitter. No, I'm not gonna stop playing. I do want to stop playing. I thought we're still in the game. So I'm a minute overdue here now. So as the title of my live stream states, remasters and remakes, they're great because you get to experience some of your favorite games of all time again in a whole new, fresh way. It's everything you love about the game, but turned up a notch, and it's like, oh my god, this is great. But sequels are better because unlike remasters and remakes, you are getting a completely new experience, a new entry into that series, and it's even better when it's a series that hasn't been around in like over 20 years, in the case of Streets of Rage. So like booting up a game like Streets of Rage 4, the latest entry in the Streets of Rage series, is just fantastic, and I think I would much prefer that if they had done a remake or a remaster. I would have been like, okay, this is great, you know, but a sequel, 10 times better. So that's all I wanted to say. I want to say thank you. I want to say no, thank you all who watched the live stream. So Resident Evil 6 is better, you bastard. I'm only joking, chat. Oh, you would have to say that now at the end of the live stream. Not necessarily. That's actually, you know what, actually, Chad, though, seriously, that's actually a very good point. That's actually a very good point. That is a good point. Would I prefer Resident Evil 6 at that, like when that game released, or would I have preferred like a remake of like Resident Evil 2 or 3 or Code Veronica? That's a very good question. I suppose if the sequel is good, then I think it's better. But that's you'll have me thinking about that now for the whole night, you fucker. I'm only joking. Okay, Chad, this is the end of the live stream, and up to and to anyone else who may have watched the live stream. Thank you all for watching the live stream. Really appreciate the support. I'm gonna go up there now and make myself some spaghetti bolognese, and I will see you next time on Green-HillGaming. Actually, my next live stream, I'm going to discuss a cool little thing that I've done in Animal Crossing New Horizons. I know it has no place on a PlayStation live stream, but this is the only way I can stream. I can't stream live on my phone because I'm on the 1,000 subs. Sub no, you bastards. Joking. So yeah, even though it has nothing to do with PS4, I'll be discussing Animal Crossing New Horizons in my next live stream. So stay tuned for that one, and I'll see you next time on Green-HillGaming. Thanks so much for watching.